EXO Kitty Season 3 is very much nearing its release, but definitely it's not going to be this year, and I'll tell you the exact release date in the later part of this video. But that's not it. We've even got some special updates that actually hint at the future of Kitty, Minho, and Yuri's love triangle, so keep on watching till the end to know what it's going to be. And as always, make sure to subscribe because we're going to make more interesting videos related to EXO Kitty in the future. So let's start with the release update first. The shooting for EXO Kitty Season 3 was actually finished way back in July 2025 itself. And as per our sources, even the post-production work is completely done. The show is almost ready to release, but the only thing holding it back right now is Netflix's tight release schedule for the next few months. December, January, and February are fully packed with Netflix's top-tier titles. We've got Stranger Things, Bridgerton confirmed to release in that window, and even Virgin River and Heartstopper all lined up to get a release date during that window. So, realistically speaking, Netflix doesn't have an open slot for EXO Kitty Season 3 until around March 2026. That's the best option available for the release right now. But there's a small twist here. If Netflix decides to drop the show in a single part, instead of splitting it into two parts like they've been doing with popular series lately, there's a slight chance we might get it earlier, maybe around January 2026. That totally depends on their release strategy, but as of now, March 2026 is the most likely timeline for EXO Kitty's return. Now, here's the fun part. Netflix has quietly revealed the titles of the first 6 episodes, and honestly, they give us some major clues about where Season 3 is heading. So, let's quickly remember how Season 2 ended. We saw Kitty standing in front of Minho, finally ready to confess her feelings. But just when we thought it was going to happen, she stopped herself. Instead, she asked if she could join him, his father, and his brother Junho on their summer tour. Minho gave a small nod, and that's exactly where the season ended, leaving us hanging on that perfect, frustrating cliffhanger. At the same time, Yuri's life completely flipped upside down. Her relationship with Juliana ended, her father's company got hit by a huge class action lawsuit, and her family basically lost their money overnight. Dae's family was dragged into that chaos too, and even though Q and Jin looked happy, the season hinted that they might face trouble due to long distance since Q got into USC. So everyone's world was kind of falling apart, and Kitty was right at the center of it, trying to figure out her own heart. Now coming to Season 3, the episode titles already give away a lot of story directions. The first one that stands out is Before Sunrise. Now, that's a really interesting title because it's clearly a nod to the famous Richard Linklater movie about 2 people spending one long night together, walking, talking, and falling in love. So this could be the moment when Kitty and Minho finally open up to each other. Maybe this is where they spend an entire night talking while traveling with his family, really getting to know each other, and maybe even confessing their feelings. It could be the emotional turning point of their relationship, but we can't forget that Yuri is still somewhere in Kitty's heart. So there's also a possibility that Before Sunrise could actually refer to Kitty and Yuri sharing one last night together, like a bittersweet goodbye before they move on with their separate lives. The next episode is Unique. Now this one clearly sounds like it's about Eunice. Remember, she won the big competition in Season 2, and her career was just starting to take off. So Season 3 might show her stepping into full-on stardom mode. Maybe she's doing concerts, recording music, or even going on a tour of her own. But the interesting part here is the way Unique is spelled, with a Q instead of UE. That could be a clue that Q might be involved in her storyline somehow. Maybe Eunice and Q collaborate musically, or maybe she leans on him for help as her life gets crazier and more public. But this could also cause new problems, especially if Dae still has unresolved feelings after losing to her. There's a lot of potential drama here, especially if Eunice's success starts creating tension between the group. Then we have the title Ride or Die. This one sounds like it could go both ways, literally and metaphorically. There were earlier casting reports about scenes involving an amusement park or carnival, so we might see Kitty and her friends on a roller coaster or Ferris wheel, maybe as part of a fun summer day that ends up revealing deeper feelings or conflicts. But metaphorically, ride or die usually means loyalty, standing by someone no matter what. So this could be the episode where relationships are really tested. Maybe Kitty has to choose whether to stand by Minho when his family gets dragged into more public drama, Or maybe she stands by Yuri despite all the chaos around her. It could also be about Minho proving once again that he's there for Kitty, no matter what happens. I feel like this episode will push everyone to make big emotional choices: who's truly loyal and who's not. Now, another really interesting title is Soul Sisters. The first thing that comes to mind here is the possibility of a huge cameo, maybe from Kitty's own sister, Lara Jean, finally showing up. We've already seen Margot and Peter appear in the show, so it's totally possible that Lara Jean could make her long-awaited appearance this season. And then there's Ships in the Night. This one is a beautiful phrase that usually means two people crossing paths briefly, but missing their chance. Like they're so close, but never quite together. That could describe Kitty and Minho perfectly. Maybe they finally get close. Maybe even admit their feelings. But something happens that pulls them apart again. Maybe Minho has to deal with family obligations or travel commitments. Or maybe Kitty's confused about her future and can't commit yet. But this title could also apply to Yuri and Juliana. Even though their relationship ended, the two clearly still have strong feelings for each other. So, Ships in the Night could show them meeting again briefly, realizing they still care, but also realizing they're on completely different paths now. And that's all we wanted to share with you about EXO Kitty Season 3. Now, I really want to know what you guys think. How do you think the story will go? Do you think Kitty will finally choose Minho, or will Yuri make a comeback in her life? Drop your thoughts down in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more fun and exciting updates about EXO Kitty.